Alrighty guys, apologies for the slightly dodgy video. About to turn onto the Adventure Way and continue along the Adventure Way. This is the turn off to get to the Dig Tree. So we're in Channel Country at the moment, have been since we left Thargomindah. And let's hope that that doesn't happen to me. Anyway, I'm going to pull over here for a second and have a quick look at the signage and make sure everything's under control with the car, maybe pop the bonnet, have a quick look, and then make a final push for the Dig Tree. But this is it guys, this is Channel Country. Have a quick stop here and then turn right. See how we go, you can see the distances here. Alright, let's jump out and have a look. So we've come from Thargomindah, so 126 k's back that way, back that way. And we're heading down to the Dig Tree. And not much at the Dig Tree, no little blue signs for the Dig Tree. 210 that way. Going to try and get into Dominica and see if I can get across the border and back from the border, back into Queensland as well. So we'll see how we go on that. The police station was closed in Thargomindah. The information lady said I needed to speak to the copper at Thargomindah to get the code. So, which I couldn't do because the police station out here is closed on a Sunday. So there you go. And it's Father's Day. We'll see how we go when we get out there, but our first destination is down there to the Dig Tree. And a couple of days down there and see how we go. All of the scenery around here is magnificent. When you get up on a jump up, like a little hill, what they call a jump up out here, you can just see for miles and miles and miles. It's unbelievable. And it's not until you come out here that I think you realise how big this country really is, I tell you. Anyway, little quick update. I'll jump back in the car now, head down this road. Hopefully next stop, Dig Tree. And another grid. Very good. How you going, folks? Now, it's an interesting landscape out here, and you go from barren to green to trees to flat land to a bit of everything. Rocks, you can easily see why a bit further out they call it the Stony Desert. But right now, hopefully you can see out the window there, and it's very, very green right now. And shrubs are taller than me and taller than the car. All the trees are green, there's birds everywhere still. Not much in the way of cattle or sheep or kangaroos or anything like that at the moment. But there might be a very good reason for that, is because the reason it's all green here at the moment, and mostly all year round, is because we're in the middle of one of the largest river systems in the world. Now, I'm not down in South Australia, this isn't part of the Murray. I do believe some of this meets up with it though. This is Cooper Creek, so part of the Channel Country area, Cooper Creek and Wilson's Creek. It's interesting that they call them creeks when the thing's about 20 or 30 kilometres wide, but they do. So as you can see, we're still in the creek system, but now we've gone to arid landscape again. So it's quite crazy how rapidly it changes there, just in that 30 seconds, and now it's completely barren again. But yeah, one of the largest river systems in the world, and it just feels like, as you're driving through it feels like it just goes on and on and on. And speaking of going on and on and on, other than myself, this road sort of feels like it's just going on and on and on. I think I've still got about an hour and a half to go, and I'm 2 hours in. I haven't seen a single person since I left Thargomindah, so, which is pretty crazy. No phone reception, no one on the UHF. It is Sunday, it is Father's Day, I get that, so, probably a good day to travel, to be honest. No traffic, no trucks, nothing. Now, I'm still on the blacktop. I haven't hit dirt yet, which I'm very surprised about. I thought all this was dirt out here. But according to the GPS and the map legend and all that sort of stuff, we're supposed to hit dirt very, very shortly after we get out of the channel system. So, which looks like we've just come out. So, look at it there. It hopefully you can see out there, guys. It's very, 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 very green, layer of green, but very barren. Now, I was talking to the bloke at Thargomindah. This is not drought breaking, so don't be fooled by the little bit of greenery on top. They say that they need, quite a lot of rain. The greens are the fresh shoots that just come out. And now, if there's not follow-up rain, that the grass and the shoots and all that sort of thing can't actually develop into a mature grass for cattle and sheep and all that sort of stuff to graze on. So, whilst it looks very pretty, it's actually not very productive at the moment for them, unfortunately. But it is nice to see that light green tinge. I think for the mental health of a lot of the people out here, it really helps as well. But yeah, I just thought I'd quickly show you the Cooper's Creek there as I was coming out the other end of it. Absolutely amazing river system. Give it a Google, check it out. You'll see how big it is. It's quite unbelievable, really. Anyway, as I come up another jump up, we'll see how we go shortly and check in again soon. All right, guys. Cheers. Well, folks, we've made it. Just like Burke and Wheels, it looks like there's no party here to greet us. All very quiet. Kind of know how he feels now. Goodness me, that's the tree down there. We'll go check it out. And there's the sign, obviously. There's absolutely no one here. Yeah, you can kind of sort of guess to how he feels. All right, guys, let's grab a camp spot. Alrighty, guys, how you going? Just thought I'd show off the latest fashion accessory for out here in the bush. The old fly net, mosquito net. Works a treat. Here at Burke and Wills, still there's my camp up the back there. As you can see, it's pretty barren. There's no one here. Yeah, I can pretty much relate to how old Burke and Wills group came back and there was no one here because there's not much around, I tell you. Anyway, just thought I'd quickly show you some of the campground. It's pretty cool. They've got, just turn the camera around, they've got some kayak hire and stuff. Wow, I don't think you hire it as such. I think you just get in it and go down to the lake, down to the river here. This is the Cooper Creek still, the one we crossed earlier. Go for it. So, plenty of pelicans in this creek. I call it a river, but whatever. A couple of pelicans up there, and further up you probably might not be able to see it in the camera, but a whole stack of pelicans up there. Plenty of water in it, guys. Plenty of water, which is fantastic. However, it does mean there's a lot of flies getting around, so hence the net. It does a pretty good job though. I don't want to find out what it's like when a fly gets up inside the net. I feel like that's going to be a bit chaotic for a few seconds. So yeah, this is the main campground, guys. As you can see, absolutely stunning. With a cloud in the sky. We'll go up and check out the tree, hey? What do you reckon? So as you can see, guys, fantastic campground here. A couple of other travellers have come in. Huge amounts of space out here designated for the camping area. It's all protected by the station, Napa Mary Station, so you can't collect wood from inside the campground here. You obviously want to keep the trees as they are and that kind of thing, which is quite good. Plenty of space out here. The sunsets here are gorgeous. I'll try and capture some of that tonight. Last night's one was fantastic. Yeah, as you can see, guys, plenty of room. Apologies for the wind noise if there is any. Wind comes and goes here. It's good when the wind comes because the flies go away. If you ever get a chance to come out here, guys, I highly recommend it. So this here is a little, I guess, information booth as you come into the campground. It tells you the story in quite a good amount of detail. All different types of wood, so you know what you're looking at. Especially when you're looking for firewood. You don't want any rubbish, you just want the good stuff. That's all the type of wood and trees you get out here. Coolabah, red gum, the bean tree, beef wood, some good stuff. Burns well. All right, so inside, it's got the story essentially of the entire trip. And to give you an idea of how far these guys went, they started in Melbourne, don't forget, they didn't start here. They started in Melbourne, wandered up, remember, on foot, camel, horseback, to Coopers Creek, and then the guys broke the party up there and then went up all the way up to what is called Camp 119, which was their final camp north. And if you look closely, they actually went a little bit further, but there's a little gap between the line and the ocean. The guys never actually saw the ocean. They saw mangroves and swampland up there, around the top of the Gulf there, but never actually saw the ocean. So you decide for yourself whether you think it was a success or a failure. Great amount of detail here about the story and what happened, as well as letters and journal notes and stuff like that. Some images there. King, remember, was the only survivor of the trip. So he was found living with the indigenous people a couple of months after Burke and Wills had passed, and Gray died on the way back. And there's Wills there, and Burke. Calamity of basic errors, I think, is what I'd put this down to, them not being rescued. So they got back to the tree. Obviously the guys had, the party had left only 9 hours earlier. Instead of staying at the tree, they headed off, but they headed off in a different direction to what you would normally do. So they didn't just try and follow them back. They headed off in a different direction. And so that was to no avail. And then they came back to the dig tree. Burke only stayed a little while because he wanted to see if anyone had come back to the tree and left any more notes or anything like that people were looking for him. Didn't see any sign of life that had been through, and left again. And then 2 days later, Bra, who was the expedition leader, came back, saw that Burke hadn't been back because they'd dug it up, but then he reburied everything. It looked like he hadn't even been back. So Bra came back, only stayed for half an hour, and then left. So and this was only about a week apart, so they only just missed each other. So there's a common saying out here in the bush that if you break down or anything like that and you're with your vehicle, don't leave your vehicle, because eventually someone will come along, and if you're with your vehicle, you're with all your supplies and you're with everything that gives you shelter and all that sort of stuff. They had a full camp here, guys, and Burke and Wills, when they got back, just decided to keep moving. So I don't know, they went against their own golden rule, essentially. Like I said, Bra came back, the expedition campsite leader. It looked like Burke hadn't even been here because he came in, stopped a night or two, and then left. So, they were so close to being found and rescued. It all went horribly wrong at the end. But anyway, I think it's a success. They got all the way up to the Gulf. Well, they got as far as the swamps at least, and I consider that as a success to cross the country from bottom to top. Let me know what you think. Do you think it was a success or a failure? Chuck it down in the comment below and let me know. Curious to see what other people think about it. All right, guys, let's go check out the tree down here. And this is it, guys. The Burke and Wills dig tree. These are the two trees here. Now, you can't really see the markings anymore because trees grow and they grow over things. So the original markings, for example this one, which is a replica obviously, was right here. So where that cutout sort of that deepish hole there is in the middle there, that was basically how deep the marking was. You could sort of just see down into where it originally was. So you can see how much the tree's grown over about 120 years. The other one, which was on the same tree, was right in here. You can see where the hole is, where that's how far it's sort of overgrown itself, if you know what I mean. And it was written right there. Now everyone thought this was the dig tree, but it's actually not, because obviously it says, or it used to say, it had an arrow pointing to the right. To the right of this tree, this one here, about 30, 40 feet, is this one, which they call Bar's tree. Now, Bar's tree was one of the leader of the sort of waiting party, I suppose you'd call it. He's the one who said, let's go, and then, 9 hours later they turned up, and, well, the rest is history. And this is the one that actually had dig written on it. Now, again, it's all completely overgrown, but where it was written was right in the centre, down there. Obviously the guys dug in this area here, found a little amount of food that they left. Obviously it wasn't enough to sustain them. Only King made it. Burke and Wills both died, and King survived. For anyone else who was coming through, not that there was anyone else around, they put this marking on the back of what they thought was the dig tree. You can still see it, just. See if I can get right in there. Just hopefully see the lettering in there. And BLXV. So if you know Roman numerals, you'll know what that date is. So hopefully you can just see it cut out in there. It's very hard to see even through bare eyes, like naked eyes. Yeah, these are the two trees that they came back to, guys. Since the area was taken over by a station in about 15 years after they came through, what they've done is they've left this whole area as is. So pretty much what you see, apart from the trees obviously probably being a considerably bit bigger, is exactly how Burke and Wills found it when they came back. So obviously without the walkway and everything, obviously. What you see here is what they would have seen. Same creek, obviously, layout, that kind of thing. Obviously nature changes a little bit over time, but essentially this is it. This is how they found it. Now the people who took over the station, they wanted to leave a bit of their memorial on the actual dig tree. But the station owner said, no, let's leave those trees be. They've got enough history in them already. And the memorial was placed on a tree just here. And they call it the face. And you can see there, hopefully, they've marked out Burke's face. And the initials there are the initials of the people who did it. And there's another one here. That's the fake version, obviously, and this is how it is in the tree. So you can see these are all starting to overgrow already by this tree, particularly this one. If you look at the original, well, what it's supposed to look like, I should say, and then you look into the tree, you can see how it's all starting to form back over the top of it. So you can only see a couple of the letters there, O and H, and there is actually meant to be ROHB. All you can really see now is a little bit of the R, the O, the H, and you can sort of make out that there's a B in there. Resilience of these trees is fantastic, I've got to say. There you go, guys. The Burke and Wills trees. So much history in one spot. As we know, the guys made it all the way to the Gulf, but they didn't quite see the water, but they made it to the marshlands at least, then trudged all the way back, with grey dying on the way back. Yeah, they got to here, saw the lettering, digged up the Burke and Wills both perished shortly later, and obviously King lived off the land with the local Aborigines and was rescued several months later. So he was found and rescued. So this is it, guys, the Burke and Wills tree. So if only they had enough strength to carry on, because as we know, the party was only 9 hours that way. So if they'd walked a day and a night in one hit, for example, they probably would have caught up to them. So, but they were so stuffed from the big trip that they just couldn't go on. So these are it, the dig tree. folks, good morning. How are we? About 8:15 here at the Burke and Wills Tree, Napameri station. Just making my way out on the track back to the main road, the Adventure Way, turning right towards Inaminka. That'll be the interesting point because I still got half a tank of fuel. We'll need to fuel up to get back into Queensland and start and head north towards Birdsville. So hopefully the border will be okay. So like I said, I've got my passes, but I haven't spoken to anyone. There's a couple of other travellers that were there at the Burke and Wills Tree who were talking to me, and they didn't have passes or anything either, so they're all now concerned. But anyway, it is what it is. It's still got 30 litres of spare diesel in the back, so look, if I get turned around, I should have enough to get to the next town out here, but where there's a petrol station, which is Uramonga, I think that's how you say it. But you know, it'd be nice to go fill up and, you know, yeah, have that safety and assurity of having the right amount of fuel to get to where you need to go. Anyway, we'll see what happens, eh? See you at the border. G'day, mate.
How you going, mate?
Good, yourself?
Alright, just you, is it?
Just me. Only old me.
Just on your lonesome.
Yeah, mate.
So,
sometimes it's better, isn't it?
So just for work, is it? Or touring?
Just travelling around, mate. We just went to the Burke and Wills Tree. And,
not bad, eh?
It's bloody gorgeous, although the flies are getting pretty bad now out there. So I hightailed it out of there this morning. They're just looking to go to Inaminka to fuel up again.
And then what are you doing?
Coming back to go to, is it Uramonga?
Uramonga, yeah.
Yep. And stay there the night.
That's right. So what will you do is when you come back through, we'll go through all the drama again.
Yeah, no worries.
But, so as long as you've got your South Australian pass, yep, that's fine. We're not really worried about it, it's just the South Australian cops if they pull you up.
Fair enough, no dramas.
Yeah, this one's still current. So yeah, that one's fine.
Yeah, beauty.
Yep, and then yeah, when you come back in, we'll go through the
just
motions
pull up and
again,
do it again. No dramas at all. All right, mate.
Very good. Well,
too easy.
I'll see you in a couple of hours then.
No dramas. Thanks, buddy.
Right on, mate.
See ya. Well, there you go, guys. We made it. We're through. Welcome to South Australia. Now, let's go get some fuel.